Hello guys, welcome to my channel. The Less is More. So today I will discuss an editorial from the Financial Express, and the topic is about population. I thought let's have a different topic today, as I will discuss a topic from different fields and different subjects. So today it is about population. The title of the topic is Population Ponderings for India. Okay, it is written by Poonam Mutreja. Okay, becoming the most populous nation in the world could once again impart momentum to the demand for countrywide population control policies. China's experience shows this would be a disaster for us. So, controlling population by coercive policy measures would be disaster for us. Let's start or directly go into the editorial. Let me have a different color. Okay, if it's working, don't fix it, say the wise. So there is a saying, it is, if it's working, don't fix it. It means if something is working good, don't try to change it, okay, for a better, right? Becoming the most populous country in the world may give the impression of India's approach towards population stabilization has gone awry, or that India needs population control policies to stabilize the population. As we have become most populous country in the world, it might give impression of our approach towards population stabilization that might go little bit wrong, or that India needs population control. Okay, so nothing could be farther from the truth, or nothing can be hid from the truth. According to the National Family Health Survey 2019-21, India has achieved the replacement level fertility of 2.1, indicating that what on average women of reproductive age group have 2 children. It also indicates that India has commenced the process of stabilizing its population by using development as the key input. It has not given into voices asking for control, a euphemism for coercion. So, India has achieved this fertility rate by development as a key input, not as a not through controlling measures. Okay, see, this is a fact. National Family Health Survey, which shows that replacement level fertility ratio is 2.1, right? What its implication or indicates that India has commenced the process of stabilizing its population, right? So this first can be topic statement, and this is the associated statement or its implication, or what does it suggest, right? It may be worthwhile to review the experience of a country that chose an unstable path. Here, the author is saying about China. China invoked the one child norm to limit family size in the 1970s. Although the country had been investing in infrastructure, health services, and overall well being of its people, it wanted a quicker route to a stable population and took this extreme step in 1979. This policy was enforced for 3 decades. So, in China in 1970s, this two-child policy or one-child policy was enforced, right? Though country was investing in a good way in infrastructure, health services, and well-being, still they want it to be a quicker. So they chose one child now for 3 decades. Control centric measures have disastrous fallouts, particularly on sex ratio. What what was its implications? So it disastrous measures, disastrous fallouts, particularly on sex ratio and the aging patterns. China has ended up as a country with one of the most adverse sex ratio. So China became the country of one of the most adverse sex ratio in the world. It has 1123 males for every 1000 females. Right. What is the ratio of China? 1123 male for 1000 female. This is for China. Son preference is believed to have fueled the desire to get couples to have a son as their only child. In its zeal to fix the birth rate, China has clearly gone overboard. China's TFR in 2020 was 1.3, which is lower than the TFR, that is total fertility rates, of the UK and the US, two developed countries with stable populations. By implementing its control centric policies, China has demonstrated what the world must never do. By implementing its control centric measures, China has demonstrated that what world has not to do. Right. Sometimes we should learn from the experience of others that what should not be wow, we should learn from them that we should not do this. Women cannot be held ransom to fertility and population targets. So you cannot coerce or force females to have only two child. It can be termed as ransom to fertility. UNFPA's State of World Population 2023 report warns that what anxiety regarding population may distract the world from solving its real problem and deny women their right to bodily autonomy. So there is an anxiety regarding population, but it can distract world from solving its real problem and deny women their right to bodily autonomy. So what could have been the implication if we also go on the China's path? So uh, it might distract us from solving real problems. It will have implication on a woman's right to bodily autonomy. It could have adverse sex ratio, right, and change aging patterns, different aging patterns. So this could have been the implications or negative implications of having one child policy. So this is what we have learned in this editorial, right, in this some of this paragraph. Okay, that why how China has gone wrong, what are its implications, so that we should be aware of its implication and we must address it. India and China may have many differences in terms of their race and culture, but patriarchy is common to both. In spite of campaigns and legislation which made prenatal diagnosis for sex determination illegal, sex ratio in India over the past 3 decades has improved marginally. India had 1073 male births per 1000 female births in 1991, which reached 1093 in 2001, 1095 in 2011, but has dipped to 1079 according to World Bank Gender Portal. Right. So, in India, the sex ratio has been improved marginally. Right. The Economic Survey 2017-18 underscore how son matter preference has resulted in what 21 million unwanted girls. In India, between 0 to 25 age group, China's experience in population control should deter every country in the world to abandon the thought of imposing restrictive policies on its people. However, efforts have been made to induce control in India's population policies in the form of what private member bill introduced in parliament and state specific population control policies which call for certain punitive measures against people with more than two living children, including what disqualification from contesting election, and denial of benefits from government scheme. The two-child norm adversely impacts women and girls, with evidence highlighting instances of men deserting their wives to deny the proof of a third child in order to contest local body election. Children being given up for adoption. Stark increase in sex selective abortion and female feticide. So, men desert their wives to deny the proof of a third child, right? So, what men do if they have, they have, or the family have more than two child, that they desert their woman or their wife that deny the proof of a third child, right? And to contest body election, and for that what they do, given up their that third child for adoption, and it also lead to increase in sex selective abortion and female feticide, right? States such as Haryana and Punjab, which introduced two-child norm at the panchayat level, had witnessed highly skewed sex ratio, further compromising the status of women in society. So these kind of some selective measures which have been imposed in some states like Haryana and Punjab resulted into highly skewed sex ratios and compromised the status of women in society. These regressive measures seem to be out of place in a country where growth rate has slowed down and TFR has already reached replacement level. So this kind of regressive measures seems what out of place in a country like India where growth rate has already slowed down. We should not use coercive policies. Why? Because the growth rate has already slowed down. TFR has already reached its replacement level. This has been achieved as what? Through developmental efforts including improved sexual and reproductive health and family planning services, secondary school education for girls, improve opportunities for women workers, and breaking patriarchal norms. So, these are the reasons or the developmental inputs that India uh, have tried to reduce or to control its population. Any fertility differentials are on account of weak development outcomes. Any fertility differentials are on what? Account of weak development outcomes around education, health, nutrition, employment, and empowerment of women. NFHS 5 shows that focus programs such as Mission Parivar Vikas in high fertility districts have already begun delivering results. Mission Parivar Vikas in high fertility districts have already begun delivering its results. India is a democratic country where people have had the freedom to choose governments, not just method of contraception. India is a democratic country, right? So where people have had the freedom to choose governments, not just method of contraception. The government toy with coercion briefly during emergency, due to which men's vasectomy as a method declined to negligible levels, around 0.2% of all methods. So, as government has tried to use coercion during emergency, so the contraception method has been declined to negligible levels. So 2.2% of all methods. It would be detrimental to go down that path again. So we should not go that path again. India's large 365 million young people are its great strength. How many people? 365 million young people. Even as its population grows older as a result of demographic transition caused by reduced fertility, it would be naive to interfere with the natural pace of population decline. So it would be naive, or it would be a wrong path to interfere with natural pace of population decline. Instead of being distracted with fruitless and untenable debates, India should invest in its young people. So this is a good conclusion here, which you can use in your essay or a GS answer. Of what? Instead of being distracted with fruitless and untenable debates, India should invest in its young people and make them the asset they can be, so that they can make a significant contribution to its economy. This is not the time for India to turn back and descend the stair, as Eliot said in Prufrock and the other observation. So author is saying that this is not the time for India to turn back and descend the stair, but to march ahead on the same path, accelerate investments in people, and make a robust transition to both a stable as well as developed countries. So we should march ahead on the same path, accelerate investment in people, and make robust transition to stable as well as developed countries. So here is the conclusion: is regressive population control policies will prove fruitless for a country where the TFR has reached the replacement rate. So in India, the regressive population control policies will be fruitless. So in this editorial, we have seen how China has implemented its one child policy, how it resulted in failure, and how what are the implications of it. Then we have also tried to use some punitive measures, how it resulted in the skewed sex ratio, and our success or achievement or milestone, which I can say is the TFR reached to its replacement level, and what are its developmental key inputs by which we have achieved that. And the author is saying we should continue with that path only. Okay, so this was all in the editorial today. Thank you. Bye bye. Signing off for the day.